that something is wrong. There's something deeper going on. Because I can't understand how people don't see it. And I think the same thing that went on regarding this pandemic and the belief system within how people believe the pandemic and conformed and complied. I think it's the same method or model that was used in religion. I'm not sure how long it took for people to start conforming to religion, to religious doctrines, will never make no sense. But it never take them long to start conforming to COVID. When you're mixing the fear factor with illogical information, which is confusion, and you get people saying, well, you better wear it than no wear it. They're gonna throw away their logical thought process for safety. That's what happened, you know? Because there's a confusion there and they're not sure. They're gonna throw away what they already know as facts, for safety. And it's the same thing happened with this whole many different denomination and religion thing. Like suppose God real. Then that better me confirm and go in a church and cut off my hair and give up my jewelry than God go come and me not me go hell. So I say they now ask some valuable questions as it relates to what is hell really? Who would have created hell really? Why God can't just forgive us? Why he needed to sacrifice himself? It's like it's the hardest thing for God to forgive. To the point you have to send somebody for dead in order to forgive and still never truly forgive. Nobody now look into the fact that Jesus came to wash away our sins through his death and his blood. Yeah? And at the end of the day, we still born in a sin and shaped in iniquity. That is what the Bible still said. If sin was washed away, then why would we be born in sin? And people take it. Because what? If it's a lot of confusion in the Bible, and not just the Bible, in other religious books, from other religions, a lot of confusion, and plus a fear factor. Do as I say or else. And so what happened when you mix fear and confusion together? People are going to throw away their logical thought process, and they're going to conform and comply, and say, it better me do this, because if me not do this, then what if? So it better me do this, and then it become a trend, and then it become a part of them. And then because you comply, you're gonna want to force other people to comply too, because you don't want to look like idiot. And this is a natural phenomenon where persons are dying, probably of HIV. Yeah, just human nature. People are dead of HIV, and guess what them do? Look as much people they can look and give it to them and spread it. You see me? Because there's a thin line between self-preservation, and when you realize that you're no longer self-preservated, there's a line wherein you don't care anymore. You want to bring others with you. I know I'm spiraling off into religion, but it's just to show you how the model of religion correlate back to the model that I believe they used during this COVID pandemic. You understand? Because remember that they were saying, if you don't mask, you can't eat food. Do as I say or else. If you don't take the vax, you can't keep your job. If you take the vax, you can't travel. See? So that's the fear factor mixing with the confusion, right? COVID is not airborne. Then they say COVID is airborne. Then they say you have to mask up in your house because your family member and whatnot can give you COVID. And then the confusion, if you take the vaccine, you can still transfer COVID. So it's like you can't form a logical basis on which COVID exists. And what you will probably learn in university, because of that confusion, and these information is coming from scientists and doctors and all of this shit, it make you start to, instead of assessing what you already know and make the necessary changes, then you start to comply with what they say. You're not even assessing what they are saying and matching it back with what you've learned as a degree holder or a PhD holder in medicine and whatnot. And I'm speaking to the highest level. Most people who are especially weak in mind or who don't have a support system around them, I'm kind of different still. We don't need a support system to decide, say, this is what I'm doing and X, Y, Z. Because if I see a problem, I'm not the type to run forward into it. Yeah, I need to know the facts and the pros and the cons. And if it don't make no sense, then I reside to relax, just like how I decided to stop the church. Because certain things just never make any sense to me. Here's another thing which I forgot to mention. I mentioned the fear and the confusion, but I never mentioned the guilt. Those are the three main things. Yes, fear, confusion, and guilt. Because they guilt trip you. They guilt trip you to believe that if you do not take the vaccine and if you don't mask up, then you're harming others. Yeah? Or you're actually stupid. You're messing with the system of things and you're putting everybody in danger. So, and it's the same thing in religion. See? Just to have a religious conversation about what is logical from what is not logical, they guilt trip you. Yeah? And so with this whole blaspheme thing, and oh, God has done so much for me. I could never speak anything, even if you know go so, you go so. And within that guilt trip, the logic, your logical brain is tossed aside. And you resort to just accepting things and never want to talk about things because you feel like spirituality and religion are the same thing. Oh, God has done so much for me. I could never speak against Christianity. For all you know, God has nothing to do with Christianity. Yeah? If God exists, God is of no religion. For all you know, God has nothing to do with the Quran or with Islam. If God exists, God probably have nothing to do with Hinduism. God would definitely have something to do with spirituality though, not your religion. And that is why it's kind of difficult for you to talk about it. You understand? Matter of fact, if you talk about it, the censorship, did I mention the censorship? Okay, it's the same thing. COVID-19, they censor you for saying things that's actually logical, that goes against the confusion. It's the same thing in religion. They censor you for saying anything, for having a discussion about anything that goes against the religion.